Do you want to know how I justify buying these things? Then keep on watching. Cheers! Welcome to my channel. I'm Andri. Today's video is a tag video and I was tagged by the amazing, bold and graceful our Grace. Thank you very much, Grace, for tagging me. The tag is, let me get this right, 10 questions I ask myself before buying luxury. Let me tell you, I could not think of 10 things that I ask myself before buying luxury. I honestly couldn't think of 10. But here are the few questions that I ask myself. Before we get onto all of that, we know how this goes. I'm going to ask you to subscribe if you haven't already. Whilst you're there, you can ring my bell, which will notify you every time I upload a video. And a thumbs up is always very much appreciated. Do we have your favourite beverage at hand? I of course have mine. Cheers! Let's get started with the tag. Okay, so Grace managed to come up with 10 questions she asks herself before buying luxury. Now, I'm not an impulse buyer. I put in a great deal of thought before buying an item. Once I've decided I'm buying it, I want it there and now. That is it. But it takes me a while and I think about it and I don't tell anybody about it. My daughter-in-laws will say the minute I mention an item, they know that is it. I'm going to get the item. I do not mention an item until I've decided I'm going to get it. And that's how it goes, because I've thought about it and I've thought about it and I ask myself these things and I try and justify everything. So here are the few things I ask myself before buying luxury. So it's not just about bags, it's, you know, luxury in general. It could be jewellery, it could be shoes, it could be blazers, coats, dresses, anything luxury. So the first thing I need to do for myself is to justify the item. And trust me, when I need to justify an item, I can think up 101 excuses why I need that item. So that's easy. I'll always find a reason as to why I need the item, and justifying it probably is the heading of the rest of all these other questions I ask myself. So number one is, can I justify it? Number two is, will this new item that I now have my eye on offer me something that I don't already have? So for example, my most recent bag that I kind of really looked at and really liked was the Mulberry Mini Alexa, and I really love it. In fact, I have it, there we go. Oh no, everything's falling, but we'll leave it. So there we go, I have it on my, that's what the Mulberry Alexa looks like, and I have it on my vision board, which is now falling down behind the cupboard. But anyway, so it is the Mini Alexa. I cannot justify the Mini Alexa because it doesn't offer me anything other than what I've got in my collection already, in any colour. You know, the colours that this comes out with, it doesn't, I cannot justify this bag. And I love everything about this bag. I love how casual it is. I love everything about it. I love that it's got a top handle, it's got a crossbody strap. Everything that I love, this bag has. A turn lock. You know, the softness of the mulberry leather. It's, you know, as luxury bags go, it's not Chanel prices. So, you know, listen, you know, we know how much these bags cost. So would this Mulberry mini elixir offer me something that my Pochette Métis doesn't already offer me? No. Does it offer me something that my YSL bag doesn't already offer me? No. So this one has gold hardware, this one has silver hardware, this is kind of the brownie, this is the lighter colour. So I have bags that can do the same job as this. So as much as I love this bag, I cannot justify this bag, and this bag doesn't offer me anything more than what I already have. So that was number 2. Okay, number 3. Do I really want the item, or am I being influenced into buying the item? Now, we know what YouTube is like, especially in this luxury community. In fact, in the real world too, we're quite often influenced. We see something that looks lovely on somebody else and we like it, and you know, we see ourselves wearing it, you know, that sort of thing. So am I really, would I have looked at that item before seeing it on YouTube 1,000 million times? You know, like, you know, for example, when I first saw the Pochette Métis on YouTube, I thought it was the ugliest bag, and I was like, I couldn't understand it. The more I looked at it, the more I looked at this bag, the more I liked it, the more I couldn't get it, I wanted it. All of that was involved. But actually, I absolutely do love this bag. And yes, I was influenced to get that bag because of YouTube. But because I put so much thought into something, I knew by the time I actually got it that I did want it. So because I put a lot of thought into something before I buy it, and I'm not an impulse buyer, by the time I've made up my mind to get that item, then I know that it's not purely because I was influenced into buying it, but I do actually want the item. Number 4, how does it make me feel? So when I go on and try the item on, you know, be it a Balmain blazer, be it a trendy, be it a classic, when I put that item on, how does it make me feel? How does a Cartier bracelet make me feel when I have it on? Does it really, you know, a lot of YouTubers will use make your heart sing. Does it make your heart sing? Does it excite me? Does it make me feel good? Is another thing. When I spending that amount of money on these items, it has to really give me that buzz. It really, I have to instantly love the item, or it's a no-no for me. And I know that the minute I put whatever it is on, I know if I love it. That's another thing I ask myself. How does it make me feel? Number 5 is, would I use this new item over what I already have? Now, I know I said earlier on, you know, would the item offer me something differently? This is different. Would I use it over something that I already have? So again, let's go back to the Mulberry. Earlier on I said, like, the Pochette Métis offers me exactly what the Mulberry would offer me. But if I had both these bags sitting on my shelf, which one would I use over the other? So that's where the difference in that question is. So if these were both sitting on my shelf, would I use this Mulberry before I use this Pochette Métis? Do you know what? I probably would. Do you know why? Because if it was raining, this is going to stain. Okay. I'm going to change to the YSL. So, you know, I'm talking myself into this Mulberry because would I use this Mulberry over this YSL? Well, this has got gold hardware in it. Okay, we're going to leave that one there. But that's a question I asked myself there, because I'm talking myself into that mulberry bag. And I know you're all sitting there going, she's going to get the mulberry bag. Listen, I've spent the last few months talking myself out of buying this mulberry bag. Okay. So that is, seriously, that is another question I asked myself. Would I use the new item over the items that I already have? Final question is, and this is where, you know, again, it comes under the umbrella of justifying, you know, how comfortable I feel spending that amount of money on these sorts of items, these sorts of luxury items. And I think the more you have, the harder it gets to justify, I think, in my book. Okay, when I first bought my first bag, it was like, whew, it was a lot of money on a bag, and you know, it was going to be my only Chanel bag and blah blah blah. And you know, I found a lot of reasons that I was able to justify that bag. And then it comes, well, I need one in this colour, and then I need one in this size, and that. But then when you've got a few shelves full of these luxury bags, it's harder to justify spending that amount of money on bags just to sit on shelves. You know, now that I've probably got a bag that can do every type of job that I need it to do. I've got totes, I've got a variety of colours, you know, I've got everything that will do a job. I've got clutches, so now it's harder to justify spending that amount of money on bags, because I do have enough. Basically, in a word, I have more than enough. So really, that's the questions I asked myself. I can't think of any more. I think that was 6 questions I asked myself. But I asked myself those questions over and over and over again for a long time before I actually decide to buy a bag. But, you know, for example, the trendy, I decided a long time ago that I wanted the trendy. I knew I didn't want it in the black because I felt I already had the 2 classics in the black, one in silver hardware, one in gold hardware. So in my mind, I had to justify how I would use the trendy over my 2 classics, because they're quite similar bags. So when this colour came out, and we all know I love lilac, I absolutely love lilacs, purples, those types of tones. Might be because my birthstone's an amethyst, but I'm really drawn to that colour. And when that came out, I was like, oh, I really need that bag. And it was so easy for me to get this bag. It was absolutely meant to be. So with the trendy, I just always loved the style of this bag. Absolutely loved everything about this bag, you know. And the fact that this was lambskin also made it more attractive to me, because my 2 classics are caviar leather. I do also have my boy, which is in lambskin as well. But again, you see, this has given me something. Like, I'm justifying everything to you now. So this has got the smaller quilts. The trendy has the bigger quilts. You know, the classics have, you know, the classic quilting. See how I can justify things. Anyway, thank you very much, Grace, again for tagging me. I will link Grace's video below. I will also tag some of my friends in my description box as well to do the tag video. And I'll also link my own tag video in my description box as well if you would like to watch that, which has created some sort of controversy with some people. I don't know why. I'm merely asking the question, are YouTubers narcissists? And on that note, I'd like to say cheers. thank you very much for watching. If you would like to see more videos from me, I'm going to link one here, and if you're not already subscribed, just press the A right here, and I'll see you next time. Bye!